friends, it's Kate from Kate's Crafting Corner. So yesterday, instead of doing any crafting, I went and took a small little 5-hour nap. That's all. Woke up. It was probably like 1 a.m., 1:30. I was up for probably like 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and then I went back to bed for another 2 hours. And probably only got 1 hour of sleep because I laid there for a long time because I didn't take my sleep aid because I was like, that's dangerous. So, yeah, paid for the nap, but I had the kindergarten first grade art club today, and I think they had a lot of fun. We were, coloring and watercolor painting and cutting out small little squares of paper and gluing them onto a printout of a pumpkin to make pumpkins. So yeah, I think they had a lot of fun. And I had a couple of older kids who are in one of the after school programs come and help because they don't want to be in the after school programs. Usually by 6th grade, they're over it. And so I usually accept a couple helpers if it's okay with the program director, and usually it is. So that is what we were doing. Sorry, was getting sleep out of one of the dog's eyes. Amy, please stop trying to go for that. She's trying to pull down a, yesterday I had this soda and she was trying to pull down the can. Aim. Hi, baby. Okay, so anyway, because the whole week thing hasn't worked this week, I decided today that the next 2 days while it's Halloween, I was just gonna work on what I wanted, what I felt like working on. And I wanted to work on some Halloween. So, I decided I'm just gonna work on my sampler Halloween. And, I showed it yesterday, but whatever, I'll show it again. What I did last night while I was eating my dinner at 1:30 or 2 a.m., was set it all up for stitching challenges so that I could just immediately start stitching on it. So here's what it looks like at this point. And I'm just gonna keep on working on this area. Nope. Sorry, the neighbors had just brought their dogs out and my dogs were barking. Anyways, back. And yeah, so I'm gonna work on that. I'm trying to decide what to watch. Jen's the one with the bingo. Guys, I am struggling with words today. Jen's Caffeinated Stitches posted a video with her 2026 plans, and so I'm thinking about watching that so I could steal any plans that I like of hers. With credit given, of course. No, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Rosie. Oh. Unfortunately, another neighbor has acquired a dog. I mean, good for them and everything, but that means neighbors on 3 of the sides. Our house touches 4 or 5 houses. It's very weird. But neighbors on 3 or 4 sides now have dogs that my dogs are all enemies with. So, like when I took them out to go potty, when I got home, the neighbor that's behind us, and probably only 3, 4, 5 feet intersect with our backyard. Anyways, my dogs rushed over there, started barking, and like, because that dog was out. That's the new one. Anyway, so, so anyways, guys, I'm tired. Why am I always tired? Why is that the only thing I ever feel anymore? It's just tiredness. Sorry, small pity party. Yeah, I'm gonna watch her video so I can get ideas for next year. I have been thinking a lot about my WIPCO boards, the yarn one and the cross stitch one. We are down to 2. Okay, we've started before at like 5 or 6, and last year was 4, and now we're gonna cut it all the way down to 2. And maybe one day I'll get down to just 1, but I do keep 1 cross stitch and 1 not cross stitch. But so what I've been thinking for the cross stitch one is every row being a different theme, and so in my head I'm already trying to plot which themes I'm gonna take and which projects I'm gonna put on it. So I'm thinking 1 row I might put full coverage pieces, because you know, I've kind of been feeling like maybe working on a few of my full coverage pieces. And so far what I've been thinking is putting on Hobbiton by Stitching Masterpiece, and putting on my Rivendell piece. I don't remember who I got that one from. And putting on basically doing like 5 different designers. So 1 Haid, I haven't decided which one yet. Stitching Masterpiece 1, and Snape's Library, which I don't remember who designed it, but there's like Dumbledore's library, got McGonagall's library, so like there's different libraries for and it's really like a cool imagination or imagining of what their chambers, or not chambers, but like office would look like. Rosie, you're so silly. What are you doing? What? Oh, jeez. I'm joined with Rosie and Hazel today. Again, like always. Ever since I cut Hazel's hair, she has been clingy. But anyway, so, she is sitting so stiffly. Oh. She knows I'm laughing at her is part of the problem. Look at you, Rose. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. You're so cute. Yeah, it's your mommy's girl. Your mommy's girl. I love you. Anyway, so I'm thinking another row to be Little House Needleworks and Country Cottage Needleworks. Hey, another row to be Frosted Pumpkin and Clouds Factory, because they're kind of similar-esque. Jamie. So that leaves 2 more rows. What else was I thinking? I want to fit like some Quakers in, or some like Quaker-esque types. And then maybe just a miscellaneous row, or like smalls, or like maybe 1 row with things that are close to finishing. But like I also have the Monopoly board and that I'm planning on continuing to do. I may just restart it because I printed out new boards, because my other boards got like crumpled because the dogs broke into it. Rose, I blame Amy. It was probably Amy, right? It's always Amy. Betsy waits for it to drop to the ground. Amy does not. I love you. Anyways, so that's my thought with that. And then similar thing with the knitting whip go board. So like 1 row socks, 1 row shawls, 1 row blankets, 1 row crochet, 1 row miscellaneous, I guess. And I think I might switch up what my goal is. So for something like a Quaker, it might be like 10 motifs. For something like a Sal, it might be finishing two parts, 1 part, something like that. Enough to make some progress, so I'm progressing. Full coverages, I'm thinking do 1%. Like increase the progress by 1%. James. Rose. Just things like that. Maybe I'll do a row of Mill Hill. Since that is so many of my family patterns. And I do have like, and they're relatively small. James. Rose Pose. So that's just kind of some thoughts I've been having. I really want to just like write it all out, but sometimes when I plan too far in ahead, and this is 2 months ahead, then by the time of the date, I change my mind about everything. So maybe I'll just write them in pencil and allow myself the freedom to change my mind. I don't know. Maybe I should do a book one. It's been a while since I've done a book one, and maybe just put in like 25 physical copy books I have that I want to read. Because I do have a lot of physical books that I don't have audio copies for, and because they felt like they would be a nice physical copy reading situation. I'd like to read some books for a change, and like 2 a month, that seems doable. I know I've said that before, but like, I don't know, that might be a fun idea. Anyways, that's just some thoughts I've been having for next year. That would mean having 3 WIPCO boards, but I haven't had a book one in a little bit, and I'm gonna just put fun reads on there and not be like trying to put classics and other type of books. Just acknowledge that's not where my head's at. I can listen to a classic if I want, but that's not the kind I want to physically read. I don't want to put obligation reads on there, but like Legends and Lattes that I was gonna read during the summer, and now I don't even have any clue about the plot anymore. I can put that on there and just put some of those kind of books. Some of the books I bought because the covers were pretty. I could put those on there. Just things like that. So anyways, I'd love feedback down below. What are your thoughts? Have you started planning for next year? Rosie. I'm also trying to think about possibly like earning starts again. Doing things to earn starts, because I've been starting a lot and it's been a little bit crazy. Hi, my darling. I don't know, guys. My brain is so distracted today. This is why I don't usually hold her, because I end up talking to her and not filming properly. Anyways, let's do the yarn. Oh, 1 corner already popped open. Purple. Oh, that's really pretty, because like it is tonal, so it's not like completely solid, but that's so pretty. And it is called Polished Stone. And the extra today, I don't need one at all. But imagine measuring tape. Actually, you know what? Mine have kind of been going lost, so I don't know where. I'll just put them in the drawer next to me. So that purple is beautiful. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to update for right now. I'm going to get changed into something comfy, maybe make myself a little snack. Try not to go to sleep this time. And my husband said he was going to come home early because we need to tidy up our front porch area for trick-or-treaters tomorrow. And like, the part of me that wants to be good and helpful and everything says, like, you know, maybe I should go tidy it a tiny bit. But like, the lazy part of me that hasn't stitched in weeks wants to, like, you know, be selfish. So who's gonna win? It's anybody's guess. Maybe I will tidy the porch while a snack is warming up. I have some like empanadas that maybe I'll put in the oven, and that will be like 30 minutes of, like, including the preheating time, 30 minutes of tidying the porch. Then I can come up here, stitch for a little bit, and then go back down. No, go back up. I don't know. Rosie, where's mommy's brain? It's just like, Mom, you're out of control. Anyways, so that's kind of what I'm thinking at this exact moment. And yeah, I really do want to do some stitching today, though. Like, it has been so long. Sometimes when it goes so long between like stitching or crafting, I just get overwhelmed with the thought of crafting, that like, once I start it, I'm all good, but like the build up to getting there is overwhelming. So I'm hoping that because I had already set up the stitches on the challenges and I don't have to do that, that it's like, girl, you can actually just stitch. And I think it's like 200 stitches before I even need to post a stop point. So it's like allowing myself some more room and just plain stitching time. So yeah, that's about it for right now. I will come back later, or try to. I know I keep saying that and then I haven't. Oh, she's falling asleep. Her eyes are closing. Was staring at mommy. I love you. So yeah, I will try to come back later. Bye. Hey friends, it is 9:20 and I've not done any stitching. Because I watched Jen the Caffeinated Crafter planning video, and it did get me inspired, like, you know, plan videos frequently do. And so I was thinking about my own plans. Now, she has some pretty crazy plans. Mainly, I'm looking at you, Floss Tube Frenzy, because I think if her numbers were lower for stitching certain things related to that, it could be doable. But she has like 21 floss tubers that she's going to be following. And so for the first video they upload in a month, she's assigned 21 different whips to each of them. For the first video they post in a month, she's going to do like 500 stitches on their assigned project. For each subsequent video they post, she's going to do 200 stitches. For people who do like Vlogtober, Vlogmas, she'll do 50 for each of those videos posted. For each milestone they make, like 10,000 stitches, or, you know, page finish, things like that. I don't know. I don't remember her exact milestones. I think she said like 200 stitches, or there was something about for something that she's going to stitch 1,000 stitches. And then also for finishes that they get, she's going to stitch so many stitches. For every 5 whips that they show in a video, she's gonna stitch so many stitches. And for every whip that they both have, she's going to stitch so many stitches. And she says she has 200 whips, which, by the way, on my spreadsheet, I'm at 218. I said I wasn't going to go over 200. Clearly, that was a lie. And I know they're not all on here because I know I've started ones this year that are not on here. So, I don't know. But I need to actually go through this and move some of them into the temporary UFO spreadsheet I have, because those are actually probably actual UFOs. Some are planned restarts. But they're cluttering up my list. But anyways, so yeah, for 21 Vlogtobers. First of all, I could never do this game because, one, I'm not consistent enough on watching Vlogtobers, but two, I feel really bad for like singling out some people and not other people. But another plan, so she's doing away with Monopoly, so that's okay. I'm still planning on doing Monopoly. And she's planning on doing the Great British Bake Off, but doing like back seasons, which I was already planning on doing as well. I'm probably not gonna keep up and follow her schedule. Just like as I finish an episode, I will watch another episode and determine that kind of thing. But it'll take as long as it takes. But she's planning on doing an episode a week. She says that it's one of her comfort shows to watch, and that like she usually already knows who wins and loses for each season. I'm not at all familiar with those kind of things. I've watched some seasons, I haven't watched others. So anyways, apparently though, she did say that like this week is the semifinals and next week is the finals for this current season. I'm like, dang, I've missed some eliminations. Because where I'm at, I think there are still 8 bakers left. So I've missed eliminations. Anyways, then she talked about a game that Kim Hollenbeck came up with called Iron Grid Stitching. And that's based off of football. And so like you have a whip assigned to your team, and then you have a whip assigned to the opposing team, and there's various rules and how many stitches and things like that. I didn't pay attention to all those particulars because I'm not a football person at all, American football, but I love soccer a lot, like passionately. And so what I've decided to do, and this is where I kind of like ended up in plan mode instead of stitching mode, is I am going to do this for cross stitching. This is not going to be a full-on plans video because I will make that next month. Sorry, I forgot to add one competition to my list here. And the other thing I have to remind myself, Olympics are coming. The Olympics are coming. I'm going to be watching curling like no one's business. I'm going to watch some skiing. I'll be watching some figure skating. So I'm so excited for the Olympics. You guys don't even know. Like, I love the Olympics. I love it so much. Wait, that is this year, right? Yes, because the summer was the year before. It wasn't this past summer, right? No, because this summer I got sucked in with the Club World Cup, and then I watched the Tour de France. So 2026 Winter Olympics, yes. So my plans, I haven't formed them yet for regards to the Winter Olympics, but I'll be coming up with something. I always try to. So my plans probably for that period of time will be put on hold for whatever I come up with. I'm not sure how closely I'm going to end up sticking to the days of the week. That was fun to plan. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. Because I don't know. So let's talk about what I am calling my soccer stitching. There are 4 soccer competitions that I would like to kind of pay attention to. Okay. The first is the Bundesliga. The second, that's the German National League. The second is the DFB Pokal Cup. There's only like 6 rounds for that. Okay. So if Bayern Munich gets cut out soon, and maybe they already are, I don't know, I have not been paying attention, then I'm done with that. So that one is not like as busy. The Champions League, which I will only be tracking Bayern Munich's progress in it. And then the last one is Germany. So right now it's friendlies or Nations League. I don't know what's going on actually right now, to tell you the truth. Hang on. Looks good, period. My husband's buying pumpkins. But when it comes to time for the World Cup, which is also this summer, I will be swapping out Germany and making other plans. And I'm thinking of making it closer to what my plans are for the Bundesliga. Okay. So, let's actually start with that. I will be doing a new start, a full coverage new start, and I am planning on doing Lovers by Naini Thomas, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I have started this project probably 3 times. It is the very first full coverage piece I ever attempted to start. But I think my first start was 2/1 on 25 count, and that was dang near impossible. Then my fabric got stained on another start, and then my next start, which I actually got a full page finish on, was on 28 count 1/1, and I just can't see it really. Stitching on that is very difficult now. He's saying they had a lot of pumpkins, but they were pretty messed up and filthy dirty. He's going to stop by the other Walmart to see if they have a third prettier pumpkin, because I wanted 3. I said I wanted like a little trio of pumpkins, and we're just going to draw a design on them. We're not even going to carve them. So, yeah. But anyways, so I will be restarting Lovers by Naini Thomas. I will have put a picture here, hopefully. And, the reason why I wanted to do a new start instead of an existing start is because I want to track Bayern Munich's progress over a season to just kind of see like how they do. And so my plan is I am going to assign a different whip to every team in the league, and every week or every game I will do 100 stitches per a goal for the game between Bayern Munich and whoever their opponent is. I am just going to go from alphabetical, like from the top of my whip list with projects I want to work on, down to the bottom until I filled out the teams, because I don't want to I don't want to like have any bias or things, and I would do that. I would assign, I don't know, projects I want to get more progress on or based on score lines. Anyways, so if the game ends like Bayern wins 2-1, I would do 200 stitches on the Bayern Munich project and 100 stitches on Borussia Mönchengladbach's project. Okay, whatever I assign to them. My plan is to primarily just stick with Bayern's games. If I have a little extra time or anything like that, maybe I will stitch on another match's results. 0 goals means that there's no stitching on that project. I am going to, part of the reason why, because in the Iron Grid version, you choose one whip for all your opponents, okay? And then one for your team. The reason I'm not doing that is because I am going to try to work on basically every whip over the next year. Like, touch it at least once. So to do that, I have to spread them out into all these various competitions, which is why I am happy I have my stitching category section that I added the other day when I was, again, procrastinating, just so I can try to get as many whips and not have them into repeating things. Like if it's a Monopoly, it's not going to be assigned to a team. And that is something that I am afraid I would have done without having this section, because, you know, you just have temporary favorites. But anyways, I'm hoping that I'll be able to remain consistent on this, because most teams aren't going to have a big score. And I don't think I'm going to track as many challenges as I've tried to this year. I'm going to keep on going on with my Jurassic stitches and my health stitching. But if it's like 200 stitches for one game, I'm not going to worry about fitting that into all these challenges, because at the end of the day, that's something that I feel has held me back. I just got too anxious about it and caught up in trying to make it all work. And so I don't want to, I want to like be a little bit more loose and forgiving with that kind of thing. So yeah, that's my plan for the Bundesliga. I haven't assigned any whips to any other teams besides Bayern for that. The other competitions, however, I have. And I need to look really carefully to make sure I am keeping the competitions correct. Okay. Let's talk about the DFB Pokal really quick. There's only 6 games. And I will only be stitching for Bayern Munich's games, not for any other. Maybe if they get knocked out early, I will pick my next favorite team and do theirs. So then it would still be 6 rounds of stitching, but maybe not. I honestly don't know yet. But for Bayern Munich, for the DFB Pokal, I have chosen Portrait of Veronica. This is one of my favorite designs. However, this is a whip that I've been so angsty about for so long, and that's because I don't love the fabric it's stitched on. It's a 30 count linen. I think it's called like Silber or something. I think it's German. Anyways, I feel like I can see the fabric holes a lot in, am I even holding this right? I don't think so. What am I doing wrong? Is it like this? Yeah, it's like this. Sorry about that. I just have put so much stitching into it. I have honestly thought about restarting it, and I've even been keeping fabric in here to restart it on. But I think that for these matches, I am going to try to fill in some more colors, because I was just like extreme cross countrying the DMC 310. So I'm going to try to fill in some more gaps and see if I'm happier with how it looks when it's not so like, because I do actually think that the coverage here with this color is good. It's just I see a lot of fabric coming through with the black. So yeah, but because I've been angsty with this project, I didn't want to assign it to a more like games heavy competition. So that's Bayern Munich's for the Pokal. For the opponent, Oops. For the... Did I choose this one for the Poco? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Yeah. For the opponent, I am going with Raven Queen. I chose Mirabilias for all of these ones now. Raven Queen from Mirabilia. And this is where I am at on that. I will go over this again when I do my plans video, but as I am planning on going through the competitions and figuring out what I owe, I wanted to at least assign these and say, yeah. Kitty, this is stitched on 28 count Gothic from Picture This Plus in the Cashel linen. I ordered, this is the fabric color that we chose for our Picture This Plus Fabric of the Month club that we created ourselves. And I chose to get it this time on Lagana or Even Weave or whatever. And I wanted to compare the dyeing and the colors for the linen versus Lagana. So I will show you guys that when it comes in. It has shipped and it's supposed to be here around the 4th of November. So those are both for the Pokal. I chose the Raven Queen because she looks kind of like evil. And so for the opponents, they're evil. So, yeah. Which brings us to our next competition, the Champions League. And for Bayern Munich, for that one, I went with the green conversion of red. It is originally, the design is from Mirabilia. The recharting is by, the Evergreen Stitcher. I don't really think she posts content anymore, but she used to do like a ton of Mirabilia conversions and they were all very beautiful. And I really loved this one. And so, yeah, and I think I'm pretty decently far on this one. And the thing that gives me hope with, I know I just put this down for a minute. The thing that gives me hope for my portrait of Veronica is this is the exact same fabric. And I think that that coverage is fine. So I'm thinking because I just started with the black, that is what's making me so negative about it. But, so here's where I'm at. And I am pretty happy with her. Which is why she got chosen for the Champions League. What did I do with her bag? Oh, yeah, that's right. I have it in my Slytherin bag. Oh my gosh, I had forgotten. I even have a floss organizer thing in here. This is one where I might need to look at buying another copy of the pattern because it's a paper pattern, and I think that the paper is already starting to rip a bit along the the fold lines, which is so irritating. And this is a pattern that I think is printed on both sides, so I just might need a second copy for the back, for stitching the back. Anyways, so that is portrait of, nope, that is red, green conversion of red. And the project I chose for the enemies, the opponents, is another one that I thought kind of looked villainous. And that is Royal Games, the first one. I don't have the second one yet, but this is one that I am secretly stitching for my husband. He likes to watch poker. So I do need to get the second one so that I do both for him. But here is where I am on that. So I've started working on this darker queen. Like I did the black to separate the two of them. And now I've started filling in some of that other color. And this project is not super big at all. It is excuse me, 130 by 189, which for, I don't know, I don't think it's that bad. So that is the opponent's project. Next up, for Germany, their games happen a lot less often. So for Germany, I will be working on Persephone from Mirabilia. And here is where I am on that. Now, I'm not going to go back to the Club World Cup for stitching. I'm just going to go back to after the Club World Cup and any games that they've played since then. Usually there's like 2 a month. So that is where I am on that. I am really hoping to get this background stitching, just this top layer of it, done soon, and then come back and do Persephone. I'm still deciding on if I'm going to do this set of motifs. I'm probably going to do her first, see how that looks, and then decide about that. But yeah, this is one that when I started it, oh geez, excuse me, I was monogamous on this for probably a full month. I loved working on it so much. And then I just haven't really worked on it since then. So I'm really excited to get back on this one, which is also why I'm glad I decided to do this kind of competition thing, because and I chose all Mirabilias because these are pretty ladies and it'll be nice to get them out, and then even if it's just for like a set small amount of stitching. I think I did forget to say that if I watch the game, then the winner gets an extra 100 stitches on their whip. They'll, sorry, excuse me. The opponent one, I didn't have another villainous one as a matter of fact, I think I only had one more from Mirabilia that wasn't one of the seasonal queens that was started. I have some in stash, but and so poor Garden Prelude has been assigned to the opponents, but she is such a pretty lady. So with this one, I am stitching her first, and I'm not sure how much, if any, of the rest I will be doing. I've thought about moving the flowers down and not doing any of this. That is my main thought. I've also thought about just doing her without any of the rest. I'll make those final decisions after I'm done stitching her and see what I feel. But I love the fabric this is stitched on. So I started with her hair. So that's what I've done so far. And like I said, I am really glad to be getting back to these Mirabilias. I just don't make time for them. And part of my selfish stitching 2026 is working on projects that I love for me and not ones that I feel guilty like I need to work on for someone else. I have those in my plans too, don't get me wrong, but like stitching for soccer is an excuse to stitch on projects that I love while still fitting in other things, okay? So that's just kind of my thoughts on that. And that's the whips I have to share so far. I do have pulled out one of my little mini notebooks that I was trying to explain the other day, so I thought I would show you guys. So they're tiny, and I usually just assign like one to a random subject. And I need to quit feeling bad about like when I'm not doing that thing anymore, holding on to the notebook, and just I can throw it away. I don't need to keep everything. So I'll write on here, this one I'm assigning to the Bundesliga. My plan is to first assign the whips and then go through and put down the matches that have happened so far this year and the results, and then start with Bayern Munich. I haven't watched any games this year, but I'm hoping that this will encourage me to go back and watch it because I am paying for an ESPN subscription so that I can watch it. I have it bundled with Hulu and Disney Plus. But so there's no point if I'm not actually gonna watch the games. So I am hoping to watch more of them. And then I'll probably do another notebook and just call it Champions League, and then it'll be multiple years worth because I'm not gonna look at any other games except for Bayern Munich's, and so it doesn't need like a new one every year. And same thing with the Pokal and Germany's matches. I will assign a whole separate book for the World Cup itself. I think with that, what my plan will be is to primarily focus on Germany's matches, but as I have free time, I will stitch other teams' matches results. And do the same thing, 100 per goal. And I don't think I'll do an extra 100 for watching the game because the games are so bunched together and I'm going to fall behind on stitching anyways because there's days with 4 games. And I found when I was doing the Club World Cup that it was impossible to even hope to keep up. And so I will focus first on Germany, then probably the United States, and work through my favorite teams that way. But every country will have their own project, just like the Bundesliga. So I will assign those all when it is closer to the competition because, well, first of all, we don't even know all the countries. That most have not qualified yet. But second of all, I've got to go because my husband's texting me, and he's probably about to call. But second of all, I want to make sure I'm picking projects that I'm interested in at that moment of time. And there comes the phone call. I will chat with you guys later with more plans. Bye.